As I mentioned, 20 members of Congress sent a letter to the Attorney General Merrick Garland yesterday. They're demanding the Department of Justice answer for the FBI's raid of a pro-life leader in rural Pennsylvania. Mark Houck is a pro-life father of 7. He was charged with an assault for an altercation outside an abortion clinic in Pennsylvania with an escort. Now, this occurred over a year ago. The cases in the state court were thrown out. Yesterday, in federal court, he pleaded not guilty. While we don't have all the details in the case, the letter notes that it appears at the state level assault charges against Houck were dismissed, and then this extreme show of force, nearly 24 agents showing up at his house, was politically motivated. Joining me now to discuss this is Congresswoman Mary Miller. She's a member of the House Education and Labor Committee. She represents the 15th Congressional District of Illinois, and she was one of the members that signed this letter to the Attorney General. Congresswoman Miller, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what this case is about. Give us the facts that I may have missed in this case.
Well, we don't know all the facts, but it was a chilling show of power by the Department of Justice and the FBI. First of all, you have to wonder how they have the time and resources to do this when fentanyl and human traffickers are flooding over our border. Why are they not targeting, that problem there? We're under a terrorist chemical attack, basically from China. They're going after American citizens. This is blatantly unconstitutional, and it's, using the Department of Justice to go after Americans. And they want this to have a chilling effect on people.
Now, apparently, based on statements of Mr. Houck's attorneys, they had been in conversations with federal authorities and had said that, hey, if you're going to arrest him, just let us know, even though the state charges have been thrown out, and my client will willingly surrender if you're going to do that. But instead of, doing something like that, I mean, they have what has been described as, now some press outlets have described as a SWAT team that descended upon the house. I mean, I do think it's an excessive show of force, and as you said, it's designed to intimidate and chill the involvement of conservatives in our country.
Absolutely, and that's why the letter was sent. I want to thank Chip Roy, Representative Chip Roy, for leading on the letter and for other members for signing on. I have called out the left, the Democrats, as being liars. I think we need investigations and to get to the bottom of this. This has been happening regularly around the country. And actually, for the first time in history, we have 2 systems of justice. I mean, we have a crime problem in our country, and they're going after people that do not have violent histories. This gentleman has, he was not a threat to them, and it was definitely an overreach and excessive show of force.
Well, you talk about this 2 tracks of justice, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my next segment. But you've spoken out about this, where you have many of these care pregnancy centers and other pro-life organizations, nearly 100 now, that have been attacked. Some of them have been firebombed. They have been vandalized. But as of yesterday, when we inquired with the FBI, there are no known arrests at the federal level based upon the information that's out there.
Not only that, but the media is not covering this, and they have made a mockery out of themselves. People are turning the television off, putting their newspapers down because they know they aren't getting the information they need, and that's why your program and the work you're doing is so important.
Do you expect to hear from the Attorney General, or will he be just, again, dismissive of this inquiry from Congress?
I do not expect to hear from him, but we're going to take back the House and we are going to have inquiries. I want people to take hope that we are going to fight back after the November election.
Explain a little bit what that looks like. I know in the Commitment to America that was rolled out last Friday, some of this is highlighted, but explain kind of the role that a Republican-led Congress could take in terms of holding the Biden administration accountable.
Mhm. Well, we're going to have hearings, and I think we've got Representative Comer from Kentucky and Representative Jordan from Ohio. They're going to be in roles leading investigations, and we have several priorities, we've got to get to the bottom of. Obviously, the overreach of the Department of Justice going after regular Americans, two systems of justice, what went on at the CDC, Hunter Biden, there's just so many things. Elections have consequences. I can't stress enough, get out to the polls and vote. I do think Congress is more conservative than it's been. And I'm personally a conservative. I belong to the House Freedom Caucus. We hold to the Constitution, and I think that the whole Congress is going to be more conservative, and hopefully we're going to elect fighters. We need fighters, like President Trump was.
And we also know that Congress controls the purse strings, so that'll have an impact upon the administration as well. Congresswoman Mary Miller, always great to see you. Thanks so much for taking time to join us today.
My pleasure.